Welcome. In front of me I have the TCL NxtPaper 70 Pro, and today I'll show you how we can record screen on this device. So, to get started, you'll want to swipe down from the top right side of the screen, which gets you your toggles, and somewhere in here you hopefully can find your screen recording toggle. If you can't, like I can't, we will be able to add it by clicking right here on this pencil. So let's click on it. Everything below right here with the plus can be added to this initial list. So let's hope I can now find, oh, there we go, screen recorder. Click on the plus, as you can see it gets added. You can also reposition it in here by just holding it and just dragging it wherever you want. Go back, and you can see it's now permanently available to us in this list. Now, before you tap on it to start recording, I recommend holding it. This takes us to the settings where you can potentially change some things to maybe fit your exact needs. So here we have a video resolution, which is set to 1080p. It's good. There's nothing higher, so I just recommend keeping it at that at the very least. Because 1080p is kind of like a, I would say, standard. Would have been nice to have other options higher than this, but anyway. Sound, you can just either have muted, microphone, system, or both. Now, for recording both, I would recommend using headphones, as what could potentially happen is when you're recording both, microphone might pick up the system sound that is going to be played through the speakers after it's already been recorded, and therefore it's going to record it the second time, potentially creating this unwanted echo effect on your recording. And then lastly, we have a record touch inputs. This will record a semi-transparent gray dot wherever your finger was pressing the display. I'm going to keep this on just so you can see how that looks like on the actual recording. So from there we can just close it up. We don't really have too many options right there, as you could see. And let's find the toggle once more, and simply tap on it. It gives you also an option to record an application or entire screen. I'm going to choose the entire screen and then click on start. And after 3 seconds, it begins recording. So you actually have two different indicators of the recording. So from here, you can open up whatever application that you want. Let's see, I'm going to open up maybe something like Notes just for as an example. There we go. And I also want to show something else that you might not be able to record. So let's see, do we have... Surprisingly, we don't have Netflix here. So I'm going to try to do it differently. I'm going to go into the settings, Wi-Fi, click on one, and hopefully this will be a good example. We'll see if TCL actually blocks this or not. Once you're done recording, you can click right here to stop this, and you can see it saves your screen recording to your Photos application. So let's open it up. And also, when you get this garbage pop-up, you can just click somewhere on the screen to get rid of it, or if you already signed in, make sure you maybe unchecked the cloud sharing so Google doesn't have access to all of your photos. Anyway, now there will be a little bit of a difference how this looks like for me opposed to you. If you are signed into a Google account, you actually will not see screen recorders in the Photos tab. What you will see instead is a Collections tab right here in the middle between the Photos and Search. And in these collections, you will find an album called Screen Recorder. Now this album is visible right here for me. As you can see, I'm selecting it right now. But when you are signed in, this album isn't visible in here, as albums aren't present right here at all. It will be just photos and videos captured by the phone itself. Other things like screenshots, screen recordings, downloads, and stuff like that will be in the Collections tab instead. Anyway, you can click obviously in that Collections tab on Screen Recorder album, and this will take you to that album, which I'm in right now. And you can also click on this screen recording to start viewing it. Now here you can see this white dot that's where my finger was pressing the display. And that's the touch inputs that I mentioned before. Let's see if here we get the example that I'm trying to show you or not. No, we don't, unfortunately. Okay, that's unfortunate. Anyway, what typically should have happened right here is the screen should have been blocked. It should have been fully black when I'm typing in the password, and as long as that password field is visible, but it did not happen. Now, this will happen with some other applications. It just doesn't happen in the settings with the password for Wi-Fi. But it's still going to be present in, for instance, bank applications. Bank applications block screen recordings and also screenshots to protect the privacy and security of the user. If you, for some reason, have some kind of malware on your device, and that malware is trying to use screenshots and screen recordings to try to figure out what kind of pins or passwords you use to access your bank, you can imagine how that would be kind of detrimental to the security of your bank. So it's being blocked for that reason. And it might be annoying specifically for screenshots if you're trying to trying to capture a screenshot that would be a confirmation of a payment that you've made. But luckily, banks do give you the option, for the most part, as far as I can tell, option to download a PDF file of that purchase as a confirmation. So typically, when you have anything open, you will have, be more precise, when you have the transaction itself opened on the screen, somewhere in the corner, like right here, you'll have these three dots, and when you click on them, it will give you a bunch of options, which one of them should be something along the lines of download confirmation or something similar to that. And this will basically download the confirmation of that payment, which you can then share. Now, it's also, this kind of feature is also going to be used by streaming platforms, which don't do it to protect you. They actually do it to protect themselves from piracy. Now, I personally find this to be absolutely unacceptable, because I couldn't give a shit less about Netflix, for instance, trying to protect themselves from piracy. I don't give a flying fuck about this, because it's my phone, and they have never even asked for permission to do so. I don't own a Netflix account, so I never actually agreed to terms of service or use, as I never had an account with them. And therefore, whatever they do on my phone, which Samsung does come with Netflix pre-installed, which is my daily driver, I can just tell Netflix to go fuck themselves and show you ways to circumvent this. Because it is in my goddamn right to be able to do whatever the fuck I want on my device, regardless if Netflix likes it or not. As long as I'm not breaking a law, and I am not, as far as I understand this, well, then that's fine. And just because Netflix doesn't like it, boo-hoo, cry me a river. So I will be quickly showing you how you can circumvent this. Now, I will say this will be, for the most part, something that you want to use if you have an active subscription with whatever content you will be trying to capture right here. Because Netflix does block screen recordings, and you do have such a thing as fair use, which does allow you to share copyrighted content as long as it's under 30 seconds, as far as I know. Netflix just straight up kind of blocking you from doing so, because just because you can do it, they automatically considering you that you're going to be sharing their entire copyrighted content, like a filthy pirate. So you're in Netflix's eyes guilty until proven innocent, so they might as well just automatically prevent you from being able to do so. Obviously, it sounds absolutely retarded, and I don't vibe with that, so I'll be showing you I can do this. So let's open up our browser and use without an account. No thanks. Now, there is a couple different ways you can search for this. I'll be showing you just a single way that you can achieve this kind of different search results, and I'll be showing you, or teaching you more or less, how to find these different alternatives, rather than showing you an exact place where to go. A reason for that is, if I were to show you an exact place, chances are, by the time you're watching this video, this site might no longer be operational. So by teaching you how to find them, you can, once one gets taken down, you can find another one. So there are all kinds of different terms that you can search for. You do primarily want to use Google for this, for the sole reason that Google gives us Reddit results. And we can search for something like, for instance, free alternatives to Netflix, or free alternatives to any other named streaming platform, or free alternative or other alternatives to CloudStream or Popcorn Time. These were applications for Android, for instance, that you could have used for the same purposes. Or you can do one of the sites that I used to show that no longer exists. A great name, I know, pStream. So this is just one of the sites that I used to show. This no longer works, so don't go there. But info behind it can be still found on Reddit, as you can see. And we have here Reddit r/piracy. We can just click on this. And here, if we scroll down, we have a couple links. I genuinely don't know if any of them works. I only tried the first one, the Ether MOM, and I can tell you that this one is dead. But if you search for different terms, you will be able to find eventually on one of the subreddits right here a site that is designed to basically index all of these kind of sites like these ones, along with their alternative domains. And I will say it's a 4-letter .net website. So once you find it, you can go there and find any site that suits your needs, as there's dozens of them listed in there. And because whatever you will be viewing here through the browser does not block screenshots or screen recordings, and whatever content you view on here does not have the ability to change how your browser works. So that's why you can capture it here, opposed to, for instance, through Netflix. Now, going back to the legality of this, as I did kind of mention this, if you own a subscription, you should be fine as long as, for instance, screen recordings are taken and shared under that 30 seconds. I think that's what fair use covers. Anything above that could be copyright claimed. Screenshots don't really have much of a problem at all, as just a single image. And that is for people that do own a subscription for the content that they're trying to capture. If it's an exclusive content, let's say from Netflix, like Stranger Things, you would need to have subscription to Netflix. Now, you don't need one to actually go to these sites and view content on there, but I'm talking from legal standpoint. As far as I understand, if you own a subscription, it's fine to go there and view it and even capture it, as long as the capturing falls under the 30 seconds for sharing purposes. If you don't plan to share it, I don't think it really has much of a difference. You could probably capture the entire show through screen recordings if you wanted to, and I don't think it's going to break any laws, but I'm not 100% sure on that one. Now, if you don't own a subscription for such a platform that you'll be viewing the content from through here, that would be subjected to piracy. Now, piracy isn't only sharing, it's actually also viewing, so that's why you would want to have that active subscription. So anyway, again, I'm in no way a lawyer, so this is as far as I understand this. So take this with a grain of salt, do your own search if you are worried about this. But the info right here for capturing something that you should be in your goddamn right to do so is here for your usage. So anyway, I hope you found this video helpful in this case. And if you did, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.